Seniors control $37 trillion worth of properties. They're either living the dream in retirement or they're broke, in debt, and working well into their 70s. That means opportunity for investors. A recent article from LendingTree pointed out that seniors age 60 to 80 are sitting on $34 trillion worth of properties, or roughly like half of the housing value in the United States. According to Visa, boomers control more than 50% of wealth in the US. That includes retirement accounts and equity in properties. While that sounds great, the problem is most of it is equity. And as I learned with my rental portfolio early on in my real estate investing career, I can't pay my light bill with equity. I need cash. According to recent articles from both Kiplinger and NerdWallet, they really don't have that much of it. The average senior has about $200,000 saved for retirement. That means there's roughly $34 trillion that's going to be on the board in the next 10 to 20 years. That is an awful lot of chips on the board and is going to be a giant transfer of wealth. I believe that we're going to see things like rising healthcare costs, taxes, and insurance force some seniors to downsize or even sell. I've shared this story on this channel a few times, but my wife and I ran into this as not seniors with our own primary we had back in Florida. When we moved into that house in 2020, we had a 2.25% rate, and our all-in monthly mortgage payment was about $2,200 for a $400,000+ place. Fast forward 3 years, with the increase in taxes and insurance, our same mortgage payment had climbed to over $3,300. I remember my wife asking me, how do folks afford this, particularly if they're on a fixed income? My wife and I just recently went through the medical cost side of things with her grandpa, who recently passed away, that got moved into an assisted living facility. And even with insurance and Medicaid and all of that, there was still an absurd amount of money that had to be paid out of pocket. MarketWatch has the cost of an in-home health aid at over $100K and typical live-in nursing home care at north of 6 figures. You can see how quickly $200K goes when it comes to medical. Clever did a super interesting survey where they found that 61% of seniors said they had no plan to move because they preferred to age in place. However, 57% of them said that a serious medical issue could make them sell. So what is a senior who is tight on cash but has tons of equity supposed to do? There really are kind of like two paths that come up here. The first is kind of self-explanatory. Maybe we downsize, either buy a smaller house or convert to a renter and cash out. The second thing that we often see is taking a reverse mortgage. When my wife's grandpa passed, grandma found herself in the position of, I don't necessarily need a house this big, and I think that what I might want to do is move into a lower maintenance condo. Now, unfortunately for her, where she lives is super senior heavy, so those condos are smaller and more expensive than what her home would sell for, without even taking into account like new mortgage rates or the crazy HOA. My recommendation for her, or really any senior considering aging in place, is you might consider just getting some extra help around the place if your budget allows it and you don't have to downsize, but you're looking for that lower maintenance. Maybe you have somebody come cut the grass and a handyman come check on like the furnace filter and things once a month. That sort of stuff really isn't all that expensive. In an interview that I did with Success.com around reverse mortgages, I'm personally not a huge fan of them, particularly if your goal is to leave the property to next of kin, even more so if they're not super bankable. When a senior passes away with a conventional mortgage, the heirs can continue to just make those payments. With a reverse mortgage, you do have to refi that out. Typically, you have 6, in some special circumstances, like 10 to 12 months to do that. Now, as I promised at the beginning of this video, I wasn't just going to talk to you about the opportunity, but what I personally do with it. So buying homes from seniors is one of my absolute favorite sources of deals. To be clear, I'm not trying to buy houses from people with dementia and lie to them about what their place is worth. If you're a terrible human being, just close out of the video. I'm not trying to help you be a worse person at scale. The reason why I love working with seniors is often they've owned their property for a long time. They haven't done a ton of upgrading and they're realistic about what the property is worth. On top of that, it's appreciated handsomely. So they can sell it for dramatically more than what they paid, but there's still tons of meat on the bone for folks that are looking for a good buy and hold, a new primary, or their next flip. I'm going to show you step by step how to pull this data and what marketing piece that I use. For seniors with equity, I use Deal Machine. They're one of the only data providers that includes demographic data, so they actually know that these folks are seniors. They're like $99 or $109 a month. They're a tool we personally pay for that we've made a ton of money off of. I do have an affiliate link that I'll drop below. My rule is I don't talk about a tool unless I'm paying for it and generating a return off of it. To be totally clear, not a sponsored video. They didn't ask me to do this. They don't know that I'm doing it. They didn't pay me to do it either. So hopping in here into Deal Machine, I'm just going to go ahead and log into my account. Now we do have to blur out a lot of the sexy stuff. So I have to blur out names, addresses, phone numbers, and emails, which Deal Machine gives you up to 10,000 of those as exports. So your like cost per record is like a cent. The reason for that is YouTube views it as doxing, and we've unfortunately had videos taken down in the past. So now that we've logged in, right here in the search bar, we're simply going to type in the market that we're interested in or where we're investing. I personally live in Fallbrook, California, so that's what I'm going to use as an example for this. We can see there's 19,000 properties in Fallbrook, but we want to narrow it down from there. So first thing we're going to do is property type. And for this example, I'm going to do single families. They have these quick filters, which we're going to take advantage of as well. You can either search at the top here or scroll down. We're going to go to seniors with equity. So we've got senior owners here. Now, one thing that's cool is you can also stack these. So there might be seniors in here, but maybe this is their like second home. Well, if I want to cut out the snowbirds, like if I'm marketing down in Miami or something, I'm going to flick on this match all. And I'm also going to go to owner occupants, which is right here. Now, I did mention we want to make sure that they have equity. There are seniors that own property that are very, very highly leveraged. That's not really what we're looking for. So we're going to go over here into this more filter, over into equity percent. And I personally always just do greater than 35. In my experience, that makes it where I can buy the property and do the full remodel that the home needs while still having some cushion there. So we went from 15,000 some odd places down to like 4,500. This is the only marketing list that I would do this on. But when it comes to seniors, I'm also going to add in a length of ownership filter. Somebody might be a senior that just retired and they're planning on that being their forever home. So there would be no point in me marketing to them. We want to focus on folks that have owned their home for like 8+ years. So what we're going to do for that is a last sale date. And I'm just going to do after. And for the sake of this example, go back to like 2018. Just arbitrarily picked this date here in October. But we hit that and we see this is a much smaller pool. So we've got 752 folks. They're seniors. They live there. They've been there for more than 8 years and they have a lot of equity. That would be a very targeted niche direct mail campaign. Now, when I'm marketing to seniors with equity, I personally use Ballpoint's handwritten greeting letter. So if you go to ballpointmarketing.com, click on the products, so the greeting letter guide that I'm talking about here. So these are written in pens by robots, both the exterior of the envelope as well as the inside, and they also get a first-class stamp on them. They're the most expensive product that they offer, but they work really well for this niche. One thing that's kind of funny, we'll get calls that are like, hey, I'm not interested in selling, but just wanted to let you know that your handwriting's beautiful. Seniors in particular seem to like the cursive on these. I would be remiss if I just didn't double down on kind of like my integrity high horse with this asset class. If we ever run into a situation where it seems like somebody's not all there, they don't remember that they spoke to us, they seem a little confused, there's even a hint of impropriety, I won't touch it. With these deals, we are always looping in their kids, next of kin, or their legal advisors, like their attorney, their CPA. It's just not worth ending up on the 5 o'clock news for stealing grandma's house from her. Copy-wise on these letters, I'm going with something just super transparent. So like, dear John, Susan, I'm interested in making you a serious offer on your property at 123 Main Street. You would consider selling it to me. Please give me a call. I'll buy the property as is. You don't have to do any updates or anything. You can reach me at blank. Just super straightforward and to the point. When it comes to the style that I pick on these pieces, these floral ones seem to work really well with seniors, and it doesn't look like anything else that they're getting in the mail. Working with seniors has been extremely rewarding, and it's been the source of some of our best and most fun projects. Hopefully you found the data in this insightful and the actionable takeaways helpful. If this is the kind of content that you're looking for, be sure to like and subscribe. Again, my name is Ryan Dossey. I'll talk to you guys next time.